Hi, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Claiborne, and my pronouns are she, her. Today is International Transgender Day of Visibility, a day to recognize and celebrate the courage and resiliency that trans people must demonstrate just to be able to live our lives authentically. That's why, to those of us who are members of the trans community, it has seemed especially fitting that the Centers for Spiritual Living's theme for this month has been authenticity. And I'm so grateful to Reverend Dr. David Alexander, our spiritual leader here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, for recognizing in his Sunday morning talks just the amount of courage that it takes for trans people to live our authentic lives. But with visibility and authenticity, there often comes a season of reckoning, especially when that visibility and authenticity challenges people to go beyond their own personal lived experiences. And as you well know, we are in the midst of such a season of reckoning right now, with more than 400 anti-LGBTQ plus bills currently sweeping the US, with the lion's share of them targeting our trans youth. I know that many of you have been getting on your state's LGBTQ plus advocacy organizations mailing list and contacting your representatives to tell them to vote against these anti-LGBTQ plus bills. Here in Georgia, we have been battling SB 140, a bill that denies gender affirming health care to trans youth and criminalizes any health care provider that tries to offer that life saving care. Unfortunately, despite all of our efforts, for which I am deeply grateful for, the governor signed that egregious bill into law just last week. And now there is even a darker cloud looming on the horizon. Earlier this month, Michael Knowles, a Daily Wire commentator, told a CPAC audience that there can be no middle way in dealing with transgenderism. It is all or nothing. He went on to say that for the good of society, and especially for the good of those poor people who have fallen prey to this confusion, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely, the whole preposterous ideology. Now, those of you who know us, your trans and gender expansive siblings, you know that we are not an ideology. You know that we are not a philosophy or a movement. We are, in fact, flesh and blood human beings, part of the divine one, a beautiful facet of the divine all, a drop in the divine ocean, just like you. So, in order to raise the consciousness of humanity regarding transgender people, in order to transform the thoughts being expressed in these anti trans bills and this anti trans rhetoric, and not allow these thoughts to manifest in forms that would deny trans and gender expansive people the right to be visible and live authentically, we must now raise our voices and level up our advocacy like never before. In other words, if these bills and this rhetoric isn't a call to action, then I don't know what is. To my trans community members, know that it is our continued visibility and success that will ultimately comfort the cries of trans youth being denied their rights and give hope to those parents who want their trans and gender expansive kids to have access to the same privileges that many of us have. We are the living proof of why these kids deserve to live their lives free without the weight of the shackles that our government is trying to impose on them. Our visibility is no longer a privilege. It is now a responsibility. How successfully we show up in the world not only benefits us, it also benefits those in our community who find themselves fighting for their very lives. We no longer have the luxury of blending in. This is a day for us to say, we are not going anywhere. And if you come after one of us, you come after all of us. As Dr. Martin Luther King said, none of us are free until all of us are free. So today I challenge each of you to answer this question for yourselves. How can I leverage my individual visibility and success, both personally and vocationally, to contribute to the well-being of these little ones? And to our allies, we cannot raise the current misguided and misinformed consciousness regarding trans people without you. Now more than ever, we need you to increase your visibility as well. So please continue to educate yourselves on how to advocate for us. Continue to elevate our voices so we can be seen and heard. Check in with us when the headlines contain devastating news and reassure us that you have our backs. And thank you. Thank you to my allies here at SLCA and throughout our Centers for Spiritual Living, and to my trans and gender expansive siblings for your continued visibility today and every day. Know that it is our collective visibility today and every day that ripples out beyond our sphere of influence that will ultimately raise our culture's consciousness and be what sets all of us free. Blessings and gratitude to each of you, allies and community members alike, on this Transgender Day of Visibility.